You guys missed like something so funny this morning. Well, the cats have been driving me absolutely crazy today. One of them knocked over a plant, and I found out the other one like ate half of my Monstera Aurea the other day when he jumped up on my shelf. And I'm so upset that he ate my Monstera Aurea. The cat is fine. My plant is very chewed. So yes, it's been crazy. So it is Monday today. It's kind of like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun is setting a little bit. The time did change. So we got up really early this morning to go for a walk. I think we got up at like 6:30 and it was so bright already. I actually woke up, my body woke me up before any alarm went off because it was like light out. The cats were like wanting food. So they were like, human, feed me and wake up. Yeah, it was just so different. I don't know. I don't like that it gets dark so early. I don't mind it getting light a little bit early, but I don't like that it gets dark so early. So I am setting up. This is probably gonna be a chaotic repot with my Monstera Aurea, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to repot her, this beauty. This is the newest leaf. It has a lot more splits than the previous one, and the variegation is still kind of hardening. But I can tell you guys that she's going to push out another leaf. Not like anytime soon, but I imagine maybe in the next week or two, I should have a new growth point. I'm usually pretty good at guessing when she's going to give me a leaf. So the bottom leaves, so this was a 2-leaf prop. I rooted this plant myself and potted her up, and this was the first leaf she gave me. It was very, very tiny. My palm is much bigger. And then the leaf size slowly went up. So this was like the next leaf. And then it gave me one little split leaf. And then it gave me one that had a little bit more. Then that one, and then that one. And these two here have come within like the past month, like back to back. So the issue is this plant is drying out extremely fast. So it's only in a 6-inch pot, and this moss pole is taking up majority of the space in here. And the main reason I want to repot it is, one, it's drying out so fast and I can tell it's getting root bound. And two, this plastic pole I don't use anymore, unfortunately. It's just too unsteady. It's just not stable. And I am no way near ready to ever cut this plant. I want this plant to grow as much as it can. I hope this isn't like getting too washed out. Okay, hopefully that helped the brightness. I've been trying to mess with my camera settings, because sometimes when I have like the shutter, sometimes I have to adjust it when it's like too dark and it just like gets messed up. And then I have like the weird lines across the screen. So I don't know. And then like sometimes if I'm shooting in a different mode, it just like, I don't know. Camera and equipment is just not my expertise. So I am still learning all of that. So basically, I want to get rid of the plastic pole that's contained in here because I don't use it anymore. And you can see the aerial roots have pretty much grown straight out of the pole. They're like, a lot of them are coming out up here. This one has grown literally straight through it. So a moss pole isn't really necessary for Monstera because their aerial roots grow straight through them. I mean, yeah, the aerial roots are like anchored into here and it's supporting the plant, which is great. But moss in a pole is really for, I don't know, I just don't really feel like they're necessary for Monsteras. It's not saying you can't use them. I just feel like a stake would provide the same thing, and the leaves are going to size up anyway, no matter what they're climbing. Normally Monstera, like in the rainforest, they'll climb up trees, so their aerial roots aren't necessarily going into moss per se. So as long as you provide support. So my plan, I don't know how well this is going to work. So I bought this cute pot at Lowe's the other day, and I don't know what size it is. It says it's 2.96 quarts, but I don't know inch-wise how big it is. And it's by Allen and Roth. I think I paid 13 bucks. I think it was $12.98. And this is the pot that I plan on using. I thought I had a different one that was a tiny bit bigger. I have no idea what this is. This is probably a 6-inch. It looks like the exact same width-wise, but it is a little bit deeper. You see that? And that's what I like about it. I don't want to go up too large. This is maybe giving this plant an extra inch or so of room, but it fits this pot perfectly, which I like, because I want to give this plant a cute, nice pot. And once we get rid of this pole, it'll leave more room for the roots down here. So I think this one will be fine for now, and then I'll probably have to upsize it next year sometime. That's my plan. The other thing I got at Lowe's were these bamboo stakes here. It was only $4 and I have 6 of them. I was only going to use one, but then I got this crazy idea in my head that I could use 2 and then maybe cut the other one in like 3 spots or 2 spots, or no, cut the other one so where it's like a few inches in length, and then I could like maybe rubber band it to the other 2 and make like a ladder bamboo trellis. I don't know. I have the idea in my head, but I don't see it playing out that well. But I'm gonna see what I can come up with. And of course, we are gonna use Osmocote. It's my favorite fertilizer. This is Osmocote Plus. It's slow release, these little pellets, and this is what I'm going to use for this plant. This plant is potted into my normal chunky mix I make. I get these little yellow mushrooms all the time in my chunky mixes. It's that Fox Farm Ocean Forest mix. It's very like nutrient dense, so I get those little mushrooms all the time, and it's not from overwatering because this plant obviously dries out in like 3 days. You can tell by the bottom leaves how they're curled. It's very thirsty again, and I literally just watered this plant the other day, so it's taking up a lot of water. And I'm going to use So Soils. So this is their chunky houseplant mix, which is my favorite. I do love it. And I actually just realized that their mix doesn't contain charcoal. So it has the clay, pumice, perlite, leca, coconut husk, pine bark, and compost. But I like my mixes to have charcoal. So I was out for the longest time. I'm out of my mix too. I would probably use my mix because I like my mix, but I don't feel like making more right now. But I was out of charcoal, so I just got a new bag. This is the charcoal I use. It's just by the brand Espoma. I get it off Amazon. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of charcoal in like a little bin with the So Soils mix and make like a nice chunky airy mix and use that to pot up the plant. I like charcoal because it is like one extra component that will make your mix more like chunky and airy, but it also like gets rid of like impurities and bad stuff from the soil, so that's why I like using it. And I have shears here. I need to cut the pole, and I have plant Velcro because I'm sure I'm going to use this to attach the plant. So yeah, that is the plan for this video. I'm excited, but I'm nervous because one of my Monstera deliciosas that I repotted that had the plastic pole that was outside, it stressed and got very angry that I just manhandled the root system. And I'm worried this plant's gonna get mad at me because the roots down on the bottom where the pole is in the soil was like all entangled around the pole, and yeah, I just stressed it out. So I'm hoping it does okay, and that's not the case for this plant. I'm just gonna take my time. I'm not gonna rush, and it's gonna be fine. I only have 1 container, which I wanna make my mix up. So I'm just gonna have like an area over here where I'm gonna dump out the old soil. So I'm just gonna squeeze, and we're gonna see how root bound she actually is. I mean, you can see some roots coming out the bottom. And I did add like side holes in this pot when I repotted her into here for extra airflow. And I did just water her the other day, so she's probably a little bit wet with the soil, but I can just tell. Usually any plant that dries out within a few days, like that's a big sign that she needs an upsize. And I used Osmocote in here because I can see those little pellets. Oh yeah. Honestly, not that root bound. I mean, she's root bound, but not as root bound as I thought. And this is what's gonna kill me, is trying to get this plastic out of here. Man. Normally what I would do, I would take this and plop it into the bigger pot and not disturb the roots at all because the soil is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think I repotted her in here last fall or winter season. It was probably, so I potted her up. It was around, I got the plant the very end of September, beginning of October of 2021. And then I was probably rooting that plant for at least 4 to 6 weeks in water. So I think I potted this plant up in November. So it hasn't quite been a year in this pot. So I'm just worried I'm going to stress her, but normally I would not mess with the roots. And you can like squeeze and kind of get rid of a little bit of soil, but there's no reason to get rid of the entire soil when, like, to put your plant through that stress. There's really no reason. And the only reason I have to do this is to get rid of this plastic pole. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, like, why did I do this? Oh, I really, really, really wished I did not use this plastic. So I might have to pause filming and, like, depending on how long it's going to take me to get her out of here, because I don't want this to be like extremely drawn out and then you guys just watching me dig around in the soil, because I don't want to rush. I do want to take my time. I'm just going to slowly loosen the root ball and just kind of work on removing this pole, but we'll see how it goes. I might like do this a little bit off camera and then come back on. But cutting the plastic pole out of up here isn't very hard because it literally, like with the moss, it comes right off. It's just the roots in the soil literally encapsulate it, because you know how like these soil roots are so much. So it's a lot harder to get the soil roots out of here. Man. I just kind of poke my finger. You can use like a tool if you want and just kind of massage the roots. I'm just kind of using my finger and just kind of like gently going in here. I love Monstera Aurea. I was like so hesitant when I went to buy this plant because I bought it from from like a private Facebook group. And I used to be on those a lot more, like I don't rarely go on Facebook anymore now. I haven't even logged into my Facebook app in forever. And I used to be more active in like plant groups, and I bought a lot of my plants off Facebook, like in plant groups or locally. And the person I bought this from, it was just like, I had no idea they were posting them. I was just like joining the group and I was just seeing what was being posted, and I saw this was already posted and nobody like claimed it or said sold on it. And I'm like, I hesitated. I think I thought about it for like an hour and I went back. Nobody else like claimed it yet. And I just like had to go with my gut. I had to get it. I knew I really wanted this plant and I didn't want someone else to buy it because I knew at that time I knew these were pretty hard to get a hold of, and I think they still are, and they're still pretty expensive. I did pay a lot. This is my most expensive plant. I did pay a lot for this plant, but it is my favorite plant, so sometimes it's worth it. This pains me to do this to this Monstera. See, I'm getting a little bit of roots in there, so I'm just going to use a fresh mix. And like the pole is down here, like I can feel it, but all these roots are literally like have encapsulated it. And know. I feel like I want this Monstera to get really tall. I feel like I want this plant to get like pretty mature before I ever think about chopping this plant. Honestly, would go a little bit of a bigger pot, honestly, because this plant has a ton of roots. I probably should go up to an 8-inch. I don't even think I have any more 8-inch pots, actually. Yeah, I think I'm out of them. I'm gonna see what this root system's like once I get this pole out of here, because I feel like the pole is like majority of this bulk in the middle. Try not to make a huge mess. I cannot believe it's November already. Just seems crazy to me. It's like time is just flying this year. It's hard to believe that we've been here since April, that we moved here. I just feel like I just can't believe all this time has passed already. So I have like this plastic and the root system I have to get out of here. Hoping I'll just get it to come right off, but there's so many roots tangled in here. Got it. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I lost some roots, but it's not that bad. I'm not going to mess with the root system anymore. See, look at all those roots though. I think I might have to go see, but then if I don't use that pot, I don't think I have another pot that fits that nice white pot. I feel like that's too many roots. No, I think it'll be okay. It might be a little root bound, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, the sun is coming down, so I'm gonna try and get through this so it's not super long. All right, so I got the plastic out of the base. So basically I'm just cutting this pole all the way up, and then the arrow roots are literally slide right out of here. Now this isn't going to be for like every plant in a moss pole, because these Monstera roots are just really thick, so they'll be able to slide right out of here. Well, they should. I knew I was going to make a mess. It's okay though. Yeah. Except this one that's really long that's attached in here. Let's see. Okay, so for the long one, I'm just gonna cut through the hole here so it can kind of slide right out. Here's another one down here that's kind of entangled, so just go like like that. And again, like normal plants on a pole will not be this easy to like remove, because you basically can't add these roots like back into a new moss pole. All right. Look at all those aerials that were attached into that pole. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. They were literally like growing straight out. That's why it's not really necessary to have a moss pole. But we are going to attach these roots to the stake so that it will still have climbing support. Some of these roots might dry up a little bit, but it'll be okay. It'll pop out. Like it's already popping out new aerial roots, so it'll be fine. All right. I am going to set this on the floor and we will continue. Oh shoot. Calm down, Melissa, calm down. I just cracked that aerial root. Oh well, that one might dry up. Here, I'm just gonna leave that there. All right, so let's make our mix.
Oof. Don't breathe the perlite in. Don't breathe the perlite in. This is really dusty today.
Yeah, I just like having the charcoal. I'm going to add the fertilizer in as we go so that in case I don't use this all. Okay. She's definitely still root bound a little bit in here, but it's a little bit deeper, so I think it'll be okay. And I'm basically just going to fill up. Why is this so dusty today? Okay, I'm gonna add our Osmo coat. Thought I heard something. And I usually just guess. I'm probably gonna use like that much, so it's not, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon. And I like shaking my pots to like, because this soil is very chunky, you can easily have little air pockets that you can kind of leave if you don't like get it in there good enough. So I like to shake it. And I'm gonna have fuzzy aerial roots now. Because of that moss. It's okay. Now she is definitely leaning because she needs support. So I think let's go ahead and, before we water her, try and make this steak real quick. I like the chunky bits in there. This, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Now I missed the moss pole. I don't want her to fall because she is leaning. I think she'll be okay. I hope I didn't stress her out. I am gonna water with Superthrive over the sink when I go to water her. What you doing, girlfriend? See, this is a chaotic repot, you guys. I have cats up here. This does not seem very steady at all. Should I just stop doing this? I think the sticks in the rubber band are just not gonna work. We are aborting the other stake method. We're just gonna use one. And I'm just gonna shimmy it down in here, hoping I don't squish too many roots. Okay. And basically with these aerials, I'm just going to kind of Velcro them to the stake so that they're kind of somewhat still supported. Kind of like this. You guys can barely see me now. Oh, I should have got some Velcro ready. You guys can see me over this pile of Monstera. I'm not loving the new flow of these aerials just because they're so fuzzy with moss. It just looks really weird. I think these longer ones that are starting to get a little bit longer, I'm just going to coil them a little bit. I'm not like putting them down into the soil. I just want to wrap around the base, I think, just to make it look a little nicer. Okay, so I think it looks fine. You honestly can't even notice too much from the back, like the weird aerials. I think she looks good. So I have my bucket here, and the only thing I'm gonna do is, so this is just water I filled this yesterday, so this has been sitting for like a day, and it has my mosquito dunk in here for fungus gnats. Give it a little shake. So we are going to pour some of this water in a watering can. I need a new watering can. This thing is awful. Fill our watering can up. And this is the Superthrive. I'm just adding a little bit in the cap, pouring it in there. Like a drop per cup of water is fine. And we are going to thoroughly water her. Snap, crackle, pop. So probably by tomorrow morning, these leaves should be a lot perkier, these bottom leaves, with a thorough drink. I'm actually gonna go through, I think, one more time. I just wanna make sure I get everything. Be careful not to hit my ceiling fan. That should be good. I feel like soul soils is a little bit more moisture retaining than my own mix. I've kind of noticed some plants that I put in soul soil stays moist just a tiny bit longer in my environment, which is a good thing because my space dries everything out quickly. As long as I like thoroughly saturate it, all these like cocoa core pieces and the leca balls keep this plant like pretty hydrated. And I just changed my battery and it's already down to 1 bar. It must have been a bad battery. So all I'm gonna do is pluck her into this pot for a little bit more stability. And look at that, you guys, a perfect plant. Let me back up. Look at how gorgeous. I think I'll have to get used to this stake, but I think it'll be okay. It's gonna be a little weird and it's obviously a lot taller, but as this plant climbs, you won't even notice this big bamboo stake. Okay, my silly camera battery died again, so I had to change it. But I just put her there, and normally I would face her towards the window, but I'm gonna show you what she kind of looks like up close, and that'll be it. So hopefully she didn't stress too much and she can kind of acclimate in her pot and still push me out another leaf here soon. All right, so there she goes. It's a little backlit, but you can see the bamboo stake is pretty tall. And there's her beautiful white new pot. And I just kind of wrap the aerials kind of on top of the pot there, and there's one more kind of hanging down. And all these ones still had like the fuzzy moss on it, but it'll probably dry up and stuff. I could technically cut these aerials off if I don't like them, because they'll regrow out of the same like spot, new aerial roots, because I've done that before. But we'll see. If it bugs me, I might cut a couple of them off. But it's fine. You can cut them. It's not gonna like really harm the plant. They're just providing support. And then you can see I kind of Velcroed it to the top. So there's the beautiful new leaf. And yeah, these ones should straighten out in about a day. It'll, once it's rehydrated, it'll kind of perk back up like that. These are the 2 original leaves anyway, so it'll kind of straighten back out. And that was the baby first leaf it gave me. So yeah, I think she looks good. I kind of wish I had gotten the other like method done, but I think this stake will provide enough support. And then I'll just turn her around facing the window. So hopefully this wasn't too crazy of a video for you. I knew it was kind of going to be chaotic. I could just tell that it was going to be, I just didn't really have like a plan. I had a vision, but that's okay. This is still fine and I'm still happy with it. So I'll definitely keep you updated on her progress. Hopefully I still get another leaf in another couple weeks and she doesn't shock too much, the Superthrive definitely will help. Kind of gives a little bit of extra nutrients, so it kind of decreases that transplant shock when you're repotting. I did mess with the root system more than I wanted, but I knew that going in. I just had to remove that plastic, but not too many roots broke off of there, so I feel good about that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is my favorite plant, so I already know I'm going to just be so excited when I get a new leaf, and I can't wait to share when that happens. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.